There comes a time in everybody's journey to achieving abundance where they take a good look at their life and they can genuinely say, I'm doing enough. There's things I could be doing more, but I'm doing enough. I'm showing up for myself. I am taking the aligned action that I need to take, but things are still not working. And why is that? Well, there can be a myriad of reasons why this is, but today we're going to focus on one that if you were attracted and resonated with this video, then you might be one of the people that has this exact issue, which is that shame is what's blocking your abundance. So you actually have plenty of value that you're already providing to others and offering, but you're not allowing that value and energy to come back to you for some reason. And that's because it feels incredibly uncomfortable, because deep down somewhere, subconsciously, usually, maybe a little bit conscious, you don't feel like you deserve it. Maybe you feel like you have to earn it more than you already have. So what is shame? Shame is an emotion that is associated with a low self-worth in your identity. So a lot of times people feel shame when they have started to identify with something negative. So for example, you wouldn't necessarily feel shame for making a mistake, but if you make a mistake over and over again, you might start feeling like it's not really your actions and your choices that's the problem, it's who you are as a being. And this is what shame is. The emotion of guilt is very similar to shame, except guilt doesn't extend quite as far. Guilt attributes itself specifically to your actions. So you feel guilty for taking a specific action, but you feel ashamed of who you are. And the action is just an expression of that terrible person that you actually are with shame. And you might be thinking to yourself, I'm a pretty good person and I honestly don't feel that ashamed of anything. You know, I have regrets, I have things that I wish I did differently, but I don't really feel a deep impending sense of shame all the time. Shame operates behind the scenes, usually. Shame and low self-worth, especially in the West, in Western societies, we oftentimes disguise this because shame is not acceptable in Western society. If you have shame, then it implies you must have done something wrong. So when we have shame that we feel, but we don't really have something to attribute it to, oftentimes shame is very hidden because it gets converted into right action. So people feel ashamed of themselves enough to the point where they can control themselves into doing the right action. So this is a form of getting things done. If you feel ashamed of the outcome, if you don't show up, then you might have a higher chance of showing up for yourself. But this isn't sustainable, especially spiritually, because in order to get things done, you need to fuel yourself with shame. And this is the loop that a lot of people are in. They're actually doing enough. The problem is what they're doing is kind of jolting themselves forward through shame in order to get everything they need to get done. As opposed to maybe some parts of their life, they're allowing their heart to lead or they're allowing passion to lead. Shame is perfectionism. Shame is the idea that you are not enough unless XYZ. So unless you get the job done this well, or maybe unless this person validates you, or unless you feel like you improved from where you were before. All these things are just criteria that we put upon ourselves that we can either meet or not meet. And the outcome is either pride if we meet the outcome, which is not that good of a prize to begin with because it's still a lower emotion. It still separates us. Or at worst, it's shame. It's the feeling that I'm worse than other people. And this feeling drains our confidence and discourages us. And it does not encourage us to do a better time next time. So what can you do if you find that you are kind of motivating a lot of your actions through at least a subtle sense of shame and discomfort? The first thing to do is to realize that you're not going to get anywhere by doing more from this state of consciousness. And what this will allow you to do is to actually let go. Because now you realize it's not that you aren't performing well enough or doing enough things, It's that things just are not clicking. You're actually showing up for yourself, but you're showing up for yourself in a way that's not quite in alignment. So it doesn't matter how much you do or how well you do it. It's not going to click in the way that you really want it to. So the first step is to let go. You need to take some time, take 6 months, and just let go of the outcome. Allow yourself to perform less optimum than you normally do, and see if you can work with yourself as that shameful mind comes up. See if you can reach a state of acceptance with yourself, even when you don't meet your quota, or you don't meet your income level that month, or you don't meet the level of action or the level of kindness even that you want to that month. Because the answer is not to do more. You're already doing enough. And the things you're doing are already of the quality you can get them to right now. In the future, you'll have an easier time performing at a higher level. And that's because you'll have that inner alignment with everything that's going on right now. Because you won't have shame and you'll be able to get into flow state. That's the one thing about shame is you can push yourself forward consistently, but you rarely get into the peak creative flow states that you can access when you operate from the heart space. And that means that things take a lot slower. You can make incremental progress when you're shaming yourself to the future. But the only way to make those quantum leaps in progress is when things are truly fueled by your heart and your creativity. And remember that shame is the lowest vibrational emotion. It's a rejection of who you are as a human being and a rejection of your creative ability as a soul. It's you telling yourself you're corrupted, you're tarnished, you're not enough. So what do you think happens if you tell yourself stuff like this and you feel like this, yet you still achieve because you're controlling yourself to do the right actions? Do you think you'll be happy achieving from a mindset like that? No. It's because that energy that's fueling you is low vibrational. And a low vibrational energy fueling you will only create a low vibrational life. Even if you do all the right things, say all the right things, and achieve all of your dreams, it's still going to be made of shame. You'll feel it breathing in the air because that's the energy that created your life. If you want your life to be filled with love, it's got to be built with love. If you're a highly sensitive person and you have a deep passion and a purpose that you know that you can achieve, but you maybe haven't had the support or the accountability or just the wherewithal to get all the things done you need to get done, then you might be a perfect fit for the inner circle, which is a part of the Circle of Wisdom, which is the community that I run, where we do group coaching. So if you want to be part of the inner circle and you want to learn more about that, then just comment circle below, or you can go in the description and click the link. Thanks so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. I know things can get really confusing sometimes. Things get really foggy. That's just part of the feminine energy of the universe. We're not supposed to know all the time. It's okay to be in the unknown. Remember that the unknown is where things get exciting. Get excited about it when you don't know where it's going, because that means it might be unfathomably good, the things that are about to happen. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out the Circle of Wisdom, check out our podcast, and I'll see you next time.